Ausama Zubaidi, you're the CEO of Luxury Real Estate Development LLC. You have a significant project here right now in Abu Dhabi. Can you tell us about that?
Thank you. It's called the Mangrove Place, which is a mixed-use residential building with somehow retail, and it's one of the nicest locations on Reem Island in Abu Dhabi, which is just offshore opposite the beach hotel on the northeastern side of the island. Mm-hmm. And it's a nice building located on a seafront and mangrove area. That's why we called it the Mangrove Place. The apartments they're all located on the sea, most of them, with terraces, balconies, and staggered looking buildings. So they are one of the nicest looking building going to be in Abu Dhabi. Hopefully.
Everybody will have views, in other words, pretty much. Good views from their apartment.
Good views, good location, mm-hmm. Good relaxed atmosphere, nice view, well designed from a point of architectural, because my background is in architecture, so we try to maximize the use of space, minimize the wastage, so that it will be very affordable to the buyer compared to the current market and the situation worldwide. So it will be one of the most affordable units in the market, and I think the retail of that building, as well as the return of investment, is going to be a little bit encouraging.
It sounds very promising. You mentioned to me that you had expected that this building might be finished even this year, but that's not quite the case. It'll probably be a year or two later. What happened? What was the problem?
Unfortunately, we had a joint venture contractor from a local and Korean mm-hmm. joint. The Korean partners, which are Hyodong Construction company, they were relying on facilities from AIG in the mm-hmm. United States, and unfortunately, you know the case about AIG, so they had to announce the bankruptcy. That took them about 4 to 6 months between buying and selling.
And you had to wait during that time?
Yeah, exactly. Legally, we couldn't force them out, and I was trying to find a solution out for them. I traveled to Korea for 3-4 times last year, trying to come up with a conclusion, but we failed. That was, in 2008. And in the end, we decided to go out for a new contractor, which we did, and we succeeded in assigning a new contractor, which is Gulf Technical Construction Company, GTCC, a fully owned subsidiary of Drake & Skull International in Dubai, which is a fully local company. It's a PJSC, which is publicly listed company in the DIFC. So currently they took over starting from March last year. So the expected opening of the building, which was in the first quarter of 2010, unfortunately it moved to the second quarter of 2011, which is a delay of about 13 to 15 months.
On the other hand, it helps you to perhaps to wait until the economic situation is a little bit better and more people might be ready to buy.
It did, and in return, out of good faith, we didn't want to penalize the people or the buyers, which are our main clients. So they had a payment structure related to the time scale of 3 to 6 months, depending on the schedule of payment where mm-hmm. They bought with. We had to flex it out for them, and we pegged it to the construction schedule. So currently, any buyer, he doesn't need to worry about his payment unless he sees the construction in his eyes. So every stage is related to a certain
guarantee, really.
It's a guarantee thing. So it's much better than other developers where they start penalizing you even though they didn't get the land or they didn't do the construction or the design. We are now finished with the substructure, almost on the 6th floor or getting to the 7th floor out of 30 stories, something like that. So we are almost 1/4 of the way in structure-wise, but the majority of the headache went on by now, because the biggest hurdle was the substructure and the transfer slab, which is somewhere in the 3rd floor, which we passed that area. So the situation now is a repetitive construction.
That's great. We're not bargaining, but just sort of vaguely, what's the low price and the high price in your building?
When we started selling at about 1,100 dirhams per square foot. When the booming continued towards the end of 2007, early 2008, it reached about 3,000 dirham per square foot.
Wow.
And we sold many units at that price. Then, unfortunately, it was going on almost on a monthly basis, the prices. Then back in August 2008, things collapsed or went into a standstill situation. So no sales since then, and we pulled it out of the market. So we sold out of 481 units, we sold 387 units.
Oh, so it was almost,
which is about 70%.
Fantastic.
The balance of 96 units remaining, we kept it now. We are not interested in selling it nowadays because the prices in the market are imbalanced.
Sure.
It depends upon the situation or the financial status of the buyer or seller. So we want things to be stabilized, which I would imagine by the end of this year or maybe the turn of 2011. And at that time, it will be coincided with the structure is finished. I think the situation will be much more attractive. We will reinstate it back to the price we took it off the market at, which is about 3,000 or 2,800 or something. Because I think it's a little bit abusive if I sell it now with the current situation in the market at a low price, and some people bought it at a very high prices. So it will be a little bit discriminating to them, and I'm not willing to do that.
Well, wish you luck in filling the building eventually.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.